Hello, I'm Santeri from Amorphis.
I'm Esa from Amorphis.
Well, waiting for the shows has been the main focus, but they all got cancelled basically. But this year we had a chance to make nine shows. Most of them were festivals. Last year we did a little bit less, but since that, besides that, basically sitting on a sofa watching TV and waiting for the shows. And of course we did the new album with Amorphis, the Halo, this year, and the whole process took like 7 months, but there was not that much work for each person in the band, maybe a week or two per person, I would say.
For this album we started writing, I think, last summer around there.
Yeah,
much.
I think I wrote all my songs in the summer 2020. Yeah, the Decade shows were the only shows we were able to do. I think they were in August or something. But I think I started June, July, August, like the whole summer or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
We've always played songs from the Tales of a Thousand Lakes and even from Karelian and Elegy. We always played them, included those songs into our set list. So I wouldn't say the Decade shows really affected that much, because we've always been carrying our past with us in the shows. So I would say no.
No, not really. It was just a great opportunity to have a wider range to play wider range from our back catalog. But I wouldn't say it would have really had any impact how we wrote the music.
Yeah, because the impact is always there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is some progressive parts there, absolutely. But we don't really want to label that much what we are. I think it's the other people who judge that, and we are great fans of progressive music and bands and so on. So of course that's like the influencing music for us, but I don't know if we ever been that progressive. Perhaps now at the first time we have slightly more rhythm changes and progressive stuff within.
Yeah, it probably comes from that you have to try to labelize it somehow. And if you compared this new album to our previous material, it is progressive. But if you compare this album to the real prog metal bands, it's definitely not that prog. But yeah, it is more progressive. It's more detailed. There's a lot of details and a lot of things you can hear that they are really thought. That this is not by coincidence. There's a lot of different time signatures and a lot of small licks here and there, what we necessarily haven't had before. Some here and there, but now everything is very detailed, and there's a lot of small tiny details. You will figure it out later on when you give it a 20 spins or even more, or you may find some new elements when we finally get to play the shows. But I would say it's probably the most proggier album we've made. But I still think it's more like a melodic death metal with hard rock vibes, or not like a prog metal album still, Yeah.
I think it was pretty natural. It was pretty much the arrangement we had when we rehearsed the song. Although some of the songs Jens wanted to change some of the arrangement parts a little bit, what he usually wants to do. Not that radical stuff, but some things to make some parts more interesting. That also might give some, I don't know, proggy flavor, but a little bit more interesting flavor to the songs.
Yeah, he likes to break the Amorphis pattern, we tend to do things pretty simple in the end. On the other hand, now after Under Red Cloud, we've been working with Jens, so it's pretty natural because he's going to do it anyway. So you don't really have to make the original compositions that super complex or surprising, because he will anyway have his own input But yeah, I would say the songs were more surprising than before already, but then he added his magic touch also there.
By having the same producer, we start to know each other better and better during each album. So I think absolutely this is like the third time now that we work with Jens. Like Sander told, we know each other pretty well. We know how Jens works, so that also helps us when we write the music, you know, in the way in which direction we're going to.
Yeah, I like to think so too. That with Under the Red Cloud it was just a scratch when we got to know each other. Queen of Time was a little bit more, and we developed the sound, and Jens developed it even more, and now I think this is the strongest album we made with him. Like with these 7 people and with this kind of process, our working style. I like to think so that this is the best what we've achieved so far. At least if you compare it to how the process was before it started and how it is now when it ended. And I think we are quite happy with the album. Yeah, at least I think it's super strong, and it doesn't open that quickly. You have to a little bit give it a spin, and so it's basically a synonym that it can hold time. You know, you can. It's not like a couple of spins and that's it. I think people will find, at least I do all the time, still some nice things here and there.
It's a great album if you also think about how we are going to start to build up the live set in future, to bringing up the new songs. So I think it will most likely take our live shows to another level as well.
Yeah. I think it was the producer's choice. We give him freedom to really decide how the final album will sound, because we like to concentrate more on the compositions and the basic arrangements, and then the playing the instruments, you know, and play as good as we can, and you know. So Jens basically has freedom to finally decide how it will sound, because he produces the album and he also mixes the album. So it's always kind of a surprise for everyone, you know. I was quite shocked. I was in India on holiday when I heard the Queen of Time first mixes. I was like, oh, this is pretty big, massive stuff. And now I heard it, I was like, oh, you know, it's always kind of like a surprise, because we don't really listen to the album while we do it. Of course, you can hear some rough stuff where you play along your parts, but yeah, it's absolutely totally up to the producer how the final product will sound, and how massive it is, and or how detailed it is.
It's like a secret for him. He doesn't allow us to listen that much while he's doing mixes. So
he wants us to keep concentrating on playing the parts right, and what he wants.
Absolutely, I think that's the reason why you, at the first place, hire a producer, that you have somebody you can rely and trust, and who's like the master of puppet in the whole process. So, and for us, it's relieving, so we can just concentrate on what we do, and don't have to figure that much how the end product is going to sound like.
Yeah, instead of endless arguments. Because six guys in a band and a 30-year-old career, you can imagine that there's a lot of opinions, and they don't necessarily match.
Put me louder.
Where's my solo?
We work very separately. Pekka is working with lyrics, and we work with the music. And at some point, Tommy start to translate the lyrics, and then starts the arrangement and everything. But we work totally separately. We don't know what Pekka is writing, and he don't know what we are writing from our end.
Yeah. So there's not any collaboration. Yeah. But I think with this album the lyrics came first, way before we even started to compose. So maybe they a little bit gave us some framework to work on, but I'm not sure. I really didn't think about it, but it's very nice. Normally in heavy metal music, the lyrics might come in a studio when singer writes some stuff, you know, about the relationships or some about love, and then nobody knows what the hell is this song about until it's out. But I'm quite happy that we have the chance that we have the lyrical framework before we start working on the album. But it hasn't always been like that. But with Pekka, I can't remember, but at least 2 last albums, there's first been lyrics and then. But I wouldn't say it affects like how I compose the songs, that I read it like, okay, I'm gonna do it, because you still don't know which lyric is gonna be attached to which song. So basically it's impossible. But you might get some idea if you really read it in a Sunday night in a candlelight, you know.
But it's definitely not the normal way to do how we work. It's really long process what Tommy goes through with the lyrics and translations and with arrangements to get everything to the final album. So, but it's the results are great. Usually we hear the vocals when everything is mixed. Well, I guess we heard something a little bit, which lyrics are going to be in which songs, but the final results we hear after the mix.
I have some. I play so late in the process because the keyboards are really dependent on the main melodies. You can't play any kind of shit there because they will not match. So I try to play as late in the process as possible. So I had some, but not all. You know, I had some growling parts and stuff, but then I was like, I don't really need the growling parts. I need the melodic parts. And there was some, I have to say, but I'm not saying they have a tendency. They might still change, but at least you have some rough idea to play along, because it's very difficult to play a melodic instrument without knowing what's the main melody line going to be. So it kind of helps, and you don't have to do things redo. You just,
I think it was not the first, but one of the first tracks I started to work with for the album. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in that song. Pretty aggressive occasionally. I didn't thought it originally that it would turn out that aggressive that it turned. But yeah, there's a very 70s influenced C part, influenced by Camel, the band, if you know. Yeah. Big fan of their music, so that's slightly influenced from their music. So a lot of things happening there.
Yeah, I also really like your solos on that.
Okay,
song was really cool.
That was probably one of the solos that I thought before I went to studio.
my solo is improvised in a Hammond session. I think it took a long time. Well, it took a second to make the first version, but then it took a while to figure it out how to play it with the Hammond organ. But
I think solos overall, like the keyboard and guitars on this album, are I think more care than before. I think there's a lot of fine and nice details going on in there. So I think there's a lot of effort put in there.
Yeah. It comes from the probably working with Jens for this third album, and we didn't have that. At least I didn't have that much solos before. So now when there is some, you want to put some effort to them because they last a lifetime. So it's better be at least decent.
At least from the right box.
At least they have to be in a right box. Yeah.
So that's why you took out the Hammond organ, I guess.
There is going to be a music video, and actually we had a plan to shoot the music video this week, but our bass player got corona, so he's in quarantine now, so we can't do it. We all tested ourselves because we had a show last weekend, so we are all tested negative.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, just wish quick recovery for Oppu. He's doing okay, like slightly fever and little headache, but otherwise okay. But anyway, that the video shooting plan goes till early next year. Probably we have another day when we shoot the video. Yeah, the song itself, it's I don't know, catchy chorus lines, perhaps a bit more heavier touch in there. Introduces a bit the heavier song from the album, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a funny memory about it's not gonna happen. But first time I heard about read an email about the video. Well, I didn't read anything. I just got a message that about the video. Can you swim and dive? I was like, wait a minute. But now I heard it's not gonna happen. Yeah. But first I was thinking
I was a bit
we're gonna play in
well.
some bottom of the lake.
Because the film director had an idea that there would be underwater camera crew and filming us being underwater, and we would have had some weight belts or whatever to get the bottom of the swimming hole.
But it's not gonna happen. No. It's too cold. Finnish band Miljoonasade in the 90s, they played in the bottom of a swimming pool. A gig.
Yeah, but now it looks like that we're going to freeze the hell out of ourselves outside somewhere.
Yeah.
So looking forward for that.
Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do for rock and roll.
Brockfart.
Yeah, it was called Progfart.
Yeah, that was the working title. Brockfart. So yeah, what can you tell? It's a different kind of rhythm that we used to use, perhaps with the band. Very progressive elements in there. Yeah.
I love the kind of like a occultish melody what Tommy does to the chorus. I love it. It's kind of like a little bit psychedelic.
It is
unpredictable Amorphis. Yeah.
He told that he got inspired by the early Life of Agony albums and wanted to do something like that based on those. So, but now it sounds very like as you told, it's like 70s.
Yeah, for me it could be from Jefferson Airplane or Amon Duel, the German band.
Like
But it's one of the magical moments in the first half of the album, when the chorus starts.
And it's nice that it's not obvious vocal line what he does. So very nice. Yeah. Now it's nice during the interviews remind the songs how they went. Oh yeah, that's. I haven't listened to the album for a while now. I want to keep a little break from it. So have to really recall how the songs were like. Brockfart.
Who came up with that name?
I think I did. Because usually when we introduce...
I don't want to know how.
No. I don't go into details, but usually when we introduce our demos or put them in the folder, we title them at some way. So there's been really weird working titles.
Any other fun working names for songs on this record?
Oh, there was some...
You had a song called Mehtis, which was named by our guitar tech.
Yeah, he's called Mehtis.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But yeah, it was actually the moon. No, it was the Seven Roads Come Together. Yeah. There's some weird names.
I try to figure out some of the songs from earlier albums. There's been really, really weird stuff.
Especially for Jens, because the titles are in Finnish and he's Swedish. He can't really understand anything. And then when there's Scandic letters and he makes the project, sometimes the names change even weirder, that they are not even Finnish anymore. They are something beyond this world.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about just keeping the working name of a song instead of giving it a real name, sort of as a joke, bonus track maybe?
Well, that would be a joke to go too far, I guess.
Well, yeah, I don't think nobody wants to have a song called Progfart. Well, actually, Northward was called Messiah. That would have worked if the lyrics would have worked, but the lyrics are not about that. Oh, kind of.
Yeah.
No, it was catchy name, and we also got some basic, like a strong elements what there are in the concept from Pekka, and it seemed to fit with that, like contradictions between black and white and good and bad and moon and sun. So somehow it fitted the best. We had some ideas, other ideas, but also Halo sounds good, and it also gives the graphical designer some like freedom, because they need freedom to, because we don't give any ideas. We just say like, can you make an album cover and all the graphics? So it's Halo gives some, and we always had like that kind of thematics in the music.
This is also the third album now that we work with the same cover artist, Valnoa, and he's a great. And we sent him the lyrics as well to get, you know, a little bit inspired what everything is about. But it's really hard to catch, you know, from the lyrics what to start to write.
There's so many ideas.
I think he's stuck into the like the radical contrasts, sort of yin and yang type of an idea.
Yeah.
His artwork is always very symmetric, which I like very much. That it's graphically it's very attractive, and you can get nice shirts and merchandise out of it. There's always like little details there and there. I can't really name any specific things.
Well, I like the fact that we got like a strong ballad in the album. We haven't had a ballad since, I think, Silent Waters. There was this, is it a ballad, but Enigma or something like that. I'm not saying ballad, but kind of like an acoustic song, you know. I'm kind of proud that we got it to the album, because we have had the tendency that maybe if there's an acoustic song in the album process, it probably drops out to the bonus track, but it turned out to be so good.
Yeah.
And Tuonela is doing such a great duetto with Tommy, so I'm very happy that it's included in the album, and it finishes the super hard, super proggy, super massive, and super detailed album pretty nicely, you know.
Yeah,
it gives
absolutely.
nice atmosphere, and after that you feel like, oh.
Yeah, calms you down nicely.
Let's put it again.
Yeah. We have a lot of plans.
They just don't happen because of the corona.
We start to. Our plan is to start the tour from North America next April, then do the summer festivals and tour in Europe next fall. But that's like the scheduled plan. But nobody knows where we are heading with the COVID. So.
Yeah, we have tons of festivals booked for summer, and 2 tours, and there's not even included the Finnish tour, but there will be also a Finnish tour. We will visit Russia, but nobody knows when.
I just read that now the Pendolino is going to St. Petersburg again.
Again?
Yeah,
okay.
they just opened it
so
a couple
maybe
days ago.
Russia will happen. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of talk about the new album. Check it out. It's very, very deep and strong and atmospherical, and waiting to hear what you think about it.